Hey guys, it's time to do a full comparison between the Huawei Honor 6X on the left versus the Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime, a comparison that was requested by so many people. So price-wise, the J7 Prime is coming at around $330, $340, while the Honor 6X is coming around $250 to $60. So at least where I live. So that's the price we have. The Honor 6X is a cheaper phone. With that being said, if we talk about the build quality on both devices, I have to say both phones are super premium. They're using metal. And really, it's just your personal preference which one you would like. But in terms of, feel in hand and according to the money, I mean, they are super worth it. Their build quality is top notch. And if you ask me personally, I would say the Galaxy J7 Prime looks a little bit more, you can say, attractive because of its matte black type of color here. And it's just my opinion. I mean, this design of the Honor 6X is very similar to other designs as well. I mean, if we compare it to the Lenovo K6 Note, I mean, this is like a typical design of most of the budget phones. So the J7 Prime does have a little bit of a semi-touch that makes it stand out compared to the competition. But again, that's just my personal opinion because I do personally own these devices, so I have to be really honest with you. So, but overall, I mean, both phones are super premium good. You can see here side by side, both are actually pretty thin. Can't really say a big difference there. We do have 3.5mm headphone jack here on the top on this one versus on the bottom, and the speaker is at the top right area on the J7 Prime, which is a really good position because when you're playing games you won't be able to block that sound while the speaker is down here. So moving on to the displays, we have 5.5-inch screen size with 1080p resolution on both of these two phones. J7 Prime is not using Super AMOLED, so I mean display colors are not as great as that you would normally find on a Samsung device like, let's say, Galaxy A5 2017 display, 1080p Super AMOLED. So they went with like TFT. It's not like a bad display or anything like that, but still not as good as the Super AMOLED. So over here we have the IPS display, and it's almost like very similar to the display we get with their top phones, like I think Huawei P9, 1080p HD resolution. So I think the Honor 6X does have a little bit better quality because Samsung didn't went Super AMOLED with this one. It feels like a little bit more brighter as well, with the real life look, when you see them side by side. But again, not a huge difference, I would say. Let's just have a close up of both of the displays here. I mean, really can't really see a huge difference. And again, for the price, this is absolutely great that you're getting. So yeah, displays wise, not a huge difference, but Honor 6S does feel a bit more brighter. If you talk about the processors inside, we have Kirin 655 on the Huawei Honor 6X versus Exynos 7870 on the J7 Prime. I have to say both devices are pretty fast in real life usage wise. You won't be noticing problems. Both devices have 3 gigs of RAM, and this is where J7 Prime doesn't really do well because personally I've done a lot of speed tests. The RAM management is not that great because Samsung has done like certain optimization that won't allow this phone to perform like up to its full potential. So, and RAM management is like pretty good, pretty darn awesome on the Honor 6X. So again, as a speed test perspective, I would definitely see this one taking a solid lead when it comes to RAM management, although I'll do a speed test later on between these two phones and showcase that side by side. But again, performance is a bit better on the Honor 6X due to better multitasking. When we talk about the internal storage, with the price that you're paying, the Honor 6X is coming with 32 gigs of internal memory versus this one, which is only coming with 16. So Again, more internal memory means that you can install more high-end games. Both have micro SD card slot option for storage expansion, but again, internal memory is the place where most of your application will go. So again, Huawei is offering more value there, so you're getting more storage compared to the J7 Prime. At least where I live, we don't get the 32 gigabyte variant, and yeah, 16 can be enough for some people, or maybe if you're if you want to install a lot of games, then it will be less. You won't be able to install that many games. So yeah, more storage with the Honor 6X, and with less price, that is really attractive. And when we talk about the softwares, again, this is something of a personal preference thing. I would say both devices are good with their own pros and cons. We will definitely get the some better stuff with the Honor 6S when it gets the Android Nougat update. We'll get a separate app drawer. So right now, I don't really enjoy it that much. So really need to see that update hitting this phone, and it is coming with Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. This is older Samsung UI, so this also needs an update. It will get Android Nougat, but no confirmed date at the moment. My guess is that the Honor 6X will get the update first, because Huawei is about to launch the update to a couple of their devices, such as the Honor 8, the P9 series. So we do have the app drawer on the J7 Prime, which is something I enjoy having instead of just home screens. But again, it's just your personal preference. You can install custom launchers to change the look, and I mean, it's Android, so you can even have like a pixel launcher on your device. So UI won't be like a big problem for most people. So the devices does come with a fingerprint scanner, so we have the fingerprint scanner on the back of the Honor 6X versus here on the home button. So I have to say both devices are fast when it comes to unlocking of the phone. And let's get right into the cameras and talk about them a little bit. So we have 13 megapixel camera on the J7 Prime versus a 12 megapixel plus 2 megapixel combination camera, or I should say dual camera setup on the Honor 6X, and on the front we have 8 megapixel on both phones. So with the extra camera sensor, it allows you to capture pictures like having like a bokeh effect in the background. A bit more functionality is added there, so that is a great value by Huawei, I have to say, for the price. I mean, dual camera setup for that price, it's a great move from Huawei for their customers. So overall picture quality, I would say both phones are nice. It's just a little bit difference in the colors. J7 Prime being towards a bit more natural, while the Honor 6X has like a effect going on, which looks great though. I mean, I basically enjoy both devices, and you can add blur on the Honor 6X, which is great, making it one step ahead compared to the J7 Prime as far as the functionality goes. And in terms of the indoor performance, I like the colors of the J7 Prime a little bit compared to the Honor 6X. But overall, I would say both cameras are great, but J7 Prime doesn't offer that much value to the camera that we get with the Honor 6X. So let's take a look at a 1080p sample. So lastly, if you talk about the battery performance on both devices, I would say both phones are good. You should be able to get like 1 day plus usage easily out of both phones. We get 3,300 mAh size on both of these two devices. But in my testing, the Honor 6X has been a little bit better with its standby time. Like battery doesn't deplete that much faster compared to the J7 Prime. So again, it's my usage. I use Wi-Fi all the time. You may not use Wi-Fi all the time, so you can have like better performance. So again, it depends on your personal usage, but they will be able to get you through the day without breaking a sweat. So yeah, again, these devices are great, but if I had to pick one up, I would say the Honor 6X is the phone to go with. The reason for that is that it is costing less and it's providing more value. It's pretty simple to see. On the other hand, J7 Prime is also a great phone. Actually, it was one of my favorite devices in 2016 mid-range wise. So but still, I have to say Honor 6X is just really providing you a lot of value here, at least where I live, Pakistan. So it's providing a lot of value. So it's really hard not to recommend this phone whenever people ask me about a mid-range device in 2017 for as less money as possible. So yeah, I mean, do keep that in mind that J7 Prime is a 2016 phone. So we will see J7 2017 series this year, which is shipping with Android 7.0 Nougat right out of the box, and definitely we'll see more internal memory and a lot of improvements under the hood as well with the performance. So you can wait for that. But again, if you're desperate and you want a phone right now that can last you like 1 year or even like a 2 year, so you can go with the Honor 6X. It's a great phone, and I have to say Huawei is a bit ahead when it comes to the mid-range game compared to Samsung, because their phones cost less and they provide more value to the customer. So Samsung may like to throw like a little bit of status in there. You know, their phones, they always cost above $300. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope this video will help you out in making the final purchase. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.